Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be how to stop procrastinating. I'm literally the queen of procrastination, so if I can actually focus on something and get it done, then I have the utmost of faith in you as well. So let's get into it. Basically, there's no real one way to fix procrastination if that's something that you struggle with. Most people do struggle with it. I think the main cause is that most people are used to being told what to do. So as soon as you're not having your hand held and you're left to your own devices, you kind of you get a bit lost. You have the fear of not doing the right thing in the right way, so you avoid it. Anyway, that's kind of like my take on it. Maybe you've got a different take. You can just let me know below. But yeah, so procrastination. I think personally, I'm probably scared of doing something in case I'm gonna do it wrong. So I'd prefer to hold back and information gather and arm myself with loads of knowledge and materials and read and stuff before actually trying to do something, just because I think it's a really backwards way of doing something. Like, it doesn't work. Like, I don't do that. I try not to do that anymore. But if you're in that information gathering stage, it's probably because you're intimidated by the task that's in front of you. You're scared that you're not gonna succeed at it, that it might not go to plan, and you're not gonna know how to fix it. So instead of actually pursuing and going and doing that big scary thing, you're gonna go and make friends with animals outside. I don't know, like anything. Like, procrastination is a weird thing. Like, it's not even just like cleaning or like eating food. It's actually going so far out of your way to do ridiculous things that will not make you money or help you in any way to further yourself, either personally or in your career, that it just doesn't even make sense. Like, I don't even know how to put it into words. But yeah, you don't want to procrastinate, really. How I've sort of overcome this, I still am. I have quite, like, I don't want to say it as an excuse, but like, my attention span isn't great. Like, I get super overexcited, distracted really easily. Like, nothing has to be happening. Like, my place is quiet. I'll put my phone at the other side of my apartment so I don't go and see it, but I'll just end up like playing with the leaves on my plant or something. Like, it's just something really stupid, and I'd prefer to do that, or I'll just go like take a nap, just because that's easier than doing some outreach or like setting up some meetings, setting up some calls. So yeah, like, I know what it's like to procrastinate. It gets really frustrating. You basically end up spinning your wheels. And the weirdest thing that a lot of people don't actually notice is that you don't really realize that you're procrastinating. Like, you know you're doing it, but you're in denial. So, for example, say for the first like 6 months of me trying to set up my business, I thought that I was putting in effort, and I was like, why am I not getting the results that I want? Like, I get up every morning, like early, like I'm going and I'm doing all this stuff, like I'm doing my cold call, I'm doing my outreach. But like, if I actually condense the amount of time that I effectively used for those tasks that I had assigned in that day, probably like an hour a day. But I was probably I had like a shitty little table before, like a little coffee table and like this uncomfortable chair, which I've kind of upgraded from now. But I'd sit at that table for maybe like 8 hours and only do about an hour of actual work, because I'd find other things to do. I'd call friends to go meet up with them, or I'd just kind of sit there and like get into this hole on YouTube on like shark attack videos. It just went a bit mental. So yeah, like, you don't want to do that, and that's a bit annoying. And then at the end of it, I was like, I have tried so hard for the past 6 months, like, it's not fair, like, other people are getting these results and I can't, like, what am I doing wrong? And then I was like, hold up, like, I sort of reflected on what I'd actually done, like being true to myself. And being true to yourself is probably going to be one of the hardest barriers that you'll need to overcome in your journey of entrepreneurship, building a business, etc. But it is one of the most important. And you sort of have to like get over yourself a little bit and sit yourself down and be completely honest and be like, have I actually tried to my maximum capacity? Have I put in all the effort that I should have put into this? am I actually putting in as much work as the other people that are getting results? If you are, like, you might be putting in the work, you might not be getting the results. Maybe it's just a different angle. It doesn't mean you're bad at it or you're going to fail. It just means that the way that you've been trying to do it hasn't proven to be effective. So how can you mix up what you're doing and do it in a different direction to see what results you get from that? So yeah, sorry, I got off on like a tangent. What else did I want to say? So in terms of overcoming procrastination, see, that just happened, like my attention just like goes. Why is the sun back? Wait. So in terms of how to overcome procrastination, I wish I could give you like one straight answer. If it was that easy, I would have fixed it as well. But I think it comes down to the type of personality you have, the type of person you are, how long you've been procrastinating for. Obviously, procrastination is basically like a habit. Like, you get into the habit of not doing anything important in gaps where you feel uncertainty. So to break a habit, it obviously takes like a phase of consciously reminding yourself, and then it will become subconscious, like where you don't even have like a thought process that you have to trigger to actually do it naturally. But I still have to like keep myself in check. Like today, I don't really like being in front of a camera, so like once I'm fine. Like when I start talking, I'm good. But like I literally, what did I even do? I was searching Cavapoos, like dog breeds. I was searching dog breed crosses on Gumtree, which is just stupid. Anyway, don't buy a dog off Gumtree. But I was looking at cute dog crossbreeds. I was finding their Instagram accounts. Like, I just went a bit crazy. I didn't do work. I had my camera set up. I had everything ready. I've been awake from 5:30, and it took me until 1 o'clock to actually sit down and start recording, because I started procrastinating and I started like looking at dogs for some reason, just looking at YouTube videos, and I was watching Grant Cardone, and then I just got like super distracted, and I just like had to give myself a mental check and be like, look, it's not actually that scary, and the reason why I want to do the videos and build the awareness is so much bigger than my fear of doing it. So like I almost feel selfish for not recording it and sharing my aspect with other people, because even if it helps one person, it's still worth it. But like sometimes you have to realize the reason why you're doing something and then use that as a reminder to stop yourself from procrastinating. So for example, like if you're an entrepreneur, if you're building a business, there's most likely a big reason as to why you're doing what you're doing. It could be family. A lot of people say it's financial. Obviously that is an aspect, but it normally ties into something deeper. It could be around financial freedom, like money giving you access to a lifestyle that you want, or providing a lifestyle for your family that they didn't have before. But I think constantly reminding yourself of the bigger reason why, that why has to be way bigger than the fear that you have for doing that task, which is then leading to procrastination. Like procrastination is just a product or a result of fear or anxiety or nervousness towards a certain task. That could be cold calling, it could be recording YouTube videos, like putting yourself out there on Instagram stories. I'll do another video on like how to put yourself out there, because like that's something that I've just kind of started to get over. But that is like, it is mainly mindset, and it's not like a quick fix. It's not super easy. It's a process, and it's one of those things that you'll have to do over time, and it is really hard to detach yourself from that part of your identity which wants you to sort of like naturally stay safe, and if anything makes you feel scared or bad, like your body will naturally try and protect you from it, and that leads to procrastination. And obviously your body trying to protect you in that situation isn't actually the right thing for it to do, because you're trying to build a business, you're trying to make money, you're trying to do something for yourself and change something in your life. So yeah, that's like the main thing that I do in terms of overcoming procrastination. Another thing is planning my day the night before. So I use Evernote. Basically, you can set out different notes with like the titles and then like fill it in with headings. It's basically just like a note system. But I use Evernote, and I have like a note which is my to-do, and I will set that every night the day before the night before, the day after, I think. Yeah, you know what I mean. So I'll set that every night before I go to sleep, and I'll have work blocks. I will do another video on organization, setting my day and stuff after this. But yeah, so I'll organize all of my day into work blocks, and I'll give myself mini breaks. So I'll work for 45 minutes, have a 15-minute break, work for 45 minutes, have a 15-minute break, repeat the cycle till lunch, then have some work blocks after lunch as well. But if I'm doing something particularly that I feel anxious about, normally my day-to-day, I don't really get scared or nervous about it. It's just doing my LinkedIn stuff, doing my outreach on social media platforms, posting my value, having meetings like with potential clients, like phone calls for like coaching students, stuff like that. And I'm kind of used to that now, so I don't really get nervous. But for example, when I know I've got to record YouTube videos and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have a content day tomorrow, I'm gonna shoot all my content, I know myself and I don't like to sort of pre-guess and be like, you're gonna like waste so much time tomorrow, you're not gonna focus, because obviously that's counterproductive. If I'm telling myself I can't do it, I'm obviously not gonna be able to. But from the previous data points that I have, I will find it a lot harder to get into a flow with something like this, like doing YouTube videos. So I'll put it at the start of my day as my first task to do. I'll be like, okay, you've got 2 hours to record like 4 videos, 5 videos, whatever it is. 2 hours, and then after those 2 hours, I can go and do something fun or like do something else that's a sort of reward. It doesn't have to be anything crazy like getting like hammered in the middle of the day. Like I don't mean that. If that's your thing, you can do that too. But it's more, this makes me sound really boring now. I go on a walk to reward myself. So yeah, if I do everything, I'm like, okay, if I get it done between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., I'm gonna go on a walk. I live next to like Holland Park with the peacocks and the koi pond and the waterfalls. So I'll go on a long walk, listen to a podcast. Sometimes if it's quiet, I'll go and meditate in a circle of benches that they have there. I'll go chill, I'll go relax. If I want to meet up with a friend for coffee, I can do that. Like if I want to go and eat sweets, I will do that. I'm obsessed with pick and mix. So I'm probably like, yeah, I'm that person that goes in and buys the sweets and doesn't watch a film. So yeah, if I want to do that, I'm going to go do it because I did my 2 hours of YouTube recording. So just find what it is for you that is going to be a reward system. It's basically like conditioning yourself. I'm just about to go into like psychology. If you ever did psychology at school, you might have heard of Pavlov's dogs, and it's basically Pavlov's dogs, where they like condition a dog to associate a certain behavior with like a reward. So it's like a reward system. Similar thing, like if you tell a dog to sit and it sits, you give it a treat, it's going to think that every time it sits, it's going to get a treat. So it's like a positive response that it has to a sort of reaction that it gets when it does the right thing. So you want to positively reinforce yourself for any actions that your body thinks are negative with something positive. So anytime you do something scary that gives you anxiety or fear or creates nerves, then you want to do something really good directly after that to sort of reward yourself and be like, this is like a good thing that you just did. So it's kind of like tricking yourself a little bit. Like it sounds kind of dumb, but it works. That would be my main thing in terms of getting over procrastination. So I think that I kind of summed up everything. Just to recap. So what was the first one that I said? So in terms of sort of doing it in your head, by visualizing what you really do want, like deep down. And obviously this scary thing is just an obstacle that you need to do in order to get closer to your goal. So visualizing, knowing that your reason why is a lot bigger than the fear that you have for completing the task. That's like one thing that you should practice every day. Morning before you go to sleep, super powerful visualization. Number 2 would be setting it up your day. So organizing it, doing it the night before, because you want to avoid decision fatigue the day afterwards. You don't want to be thinking about what you need to do and that's also like a form of procrastination, is overthinking something. So have it all set out the night before, know what you're going to be doing step by step, so that when it comes to the day after, you just get up and you just do it as you set it out to be. So that's number 2. Number 3 is positively condition yourself. So give yourself a reward system for every time you do something scary. Do it at the start of the day to get it out of the way. Otherwise, you will just try and avoid it at the end. Like, you want to do it as soon as you're up. Hype yourself up with music, whatever it is that you need to do to get out of your head. Meditate, get into a good space, do that scary thing, and then directly afterwards go and do something fun, like go and reward yourself. Like, it's okay to chill, like be kind to yourself. It's not all like grind and hustle. Like, a lot of the people that have the most success are the ones that put the effort in to the right places. So when you're first starting out, you don't need to go and make yourself have a 12-hour day straight away. It takes time to build up to that. You want to be kind to yourself, you want to build up slowly, and you want to reward yourself for all of those little things that you find difficult. It doesn't matter if it seems stupid or silly to somebody else. It's not going to affect anybody else. It's only going to affect your outcome and your future and whether you get to your goal or not. So yeah, so I think that's everything. I hope this sort of helped. I guess there was like a few action steps that you can now take and try and implement into your routine and see if it helps. Give me any feedback that you have in the comments below. Let me know what you guys struggle with, what you do to overcome it. Maybe you want to add on to what I've already said. Or as well, if you have any questions, you can either ask me privately if you don't feel comfortable putting it in public. Instagram, you can message me on LinkedIn or just comment below.